Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca, and today we're going to make another pail. So if you were here, whoops, I made this Halloween inspired pail. It's not a lantern, it was an actual candy pail. It's one of my favorite things that I made, so I figured I would try to make another one of these. However, the holiday that's coming up isn't Halloween, it's actually Easter. I thought, why not make one for each holiday where there's a little cute animal. So that's kind of what I'm gonna try to do this year. I'm gonna make two different pails. One of them I hope will be a bunny, and then the other will be a little chick. I already have my supplies. My supplies include ripped up weekly ads or newspaper. I also ripped up some of this packaging paper from a package I received. I'm going to need paper clay, so I grabbed the paper that was in my shredder and dropped it everywhere, including my bucket. And then I'm going to fill this up with water. Because it is regular paper, it has to soak for a few days. My base is always going to be a ball. This is a lot smaller than this one, and I chose this one because if I have smaller ones, I'm more likely to actually finish two of them rather than two big ones. So that's what I have here. In terms of my mixture, we have half water, half glue. I'll have my gloves, and I will start off with regular old weekly ad paper. If this is content that you enjoy, please make sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. All right, let me get all of this started. To start this, I have to mix my water and glue mixture, which is half water, half glue, so that it's ready to start dipping my newspaper in that mixture. I squeegee some of that out, and then I place that on my ball. However, I want to note that I don't cover the entire ball. I always leave the top section open so that I can deflate my ball and remove it so I can use it at a later time. And since these are going to be buckets, we're going to cut a section off, so no point in covering the entire ball. But once I'm done with my first one, I'm going to do the exact same thing to my second ball. And here are both balls with their first layer. This was covered in a colder day, so I needed them to dry. Hi, this is the next day. I'm gonna be using these paper that you get from packaging. I think I'm gonna do a total of 4 layers. I think I'm gonna do a total of 4 layers. On my cat bucket, I'd used a different type of paper. It's this one here. This is a lot thicker than both of the papers that I'm using. I did about 4 layers in using this. So if I continue to only use these thin ones, it should work with the 4 layers. I may end up doing 5. I'll let you know what I decide, but let's keep going. I ended up doing 4 layers: newspaper, brown paper, newspaper, brown paper. But the ball kept feeling weak. So I decided to use that red paper that I mentioned I used for my cat pail. That paper is paper you can locate at a hardware store. It's typically used to cover your floors when you are painting. We've had that for years since we painted our house, so we just had this huge roll of it, and I use it for my projects. Most of the time you'll see this on my paper mache items. This red paper is now going to be the 5th layer on my ball, and after this layer of what looks like bacon, I will then do another layer of newspaper. So here's what that looks like. Now that I've completed the 6th layer, I'm going to start deflating my balls. And you can see here that I didn't cover the entire thing, again, because I'd like to deflate this and I will be able to reuse the ball. That's another reason why I like using them instead of balloons. They're just reusable. Now remember I said that I had that paper soaking? It's been 5 days that this paper has been soaking in water. Using my emulsion blender to blend the paper with the water. Unfortunately though, I forgot that I had shredded some cards, which is why I'm taking things out of here, and it was a little difficult to actually blend. Something I'd like to share is that you should get a food processor if you're using a big batch like this. An emulsion blender is easier to store as I thought, but my hand was hurting a lot, so I will end up purchasing one from a thrift store when I need to make this clay again. Once that's all blended, I have to squeeze out some of this water. So I just use a t-shirt, an old t-shirt that we have as a rag, and I slop this into it and start squeezing. You don't want to squeeze too much water out. I did that for my previous pail. That was my first time doing it, and I actually liked it a little bit wet like I had this one. Once I'm done squeezing the water, I'm gonna carry you with me back to this little section and pour some flour. This is expired wheat flour that I had in the kitchen, so I just use it as my paper mache supplies. I also have some Elmer's glue that I'm gonna pour into this, and I hand knead all of it together. I had some paper clay from when I made my cat pail, so I included that in here and just mixed it all together by hand. After we're done doing a little mixy mix, I put this in an airtight container and a plastic bag. It made a lot more than I thought it would. Now that my clay is done, I can start working on one of the pails. This is going to be the little chick. Here I'm just drawing out how I would like my chick to look. I give it some nice big eyes, cute little lips, and draw out the area where I want the cheeks to be. Once all of this is drawn out and I kind of like the positioning, I can start covering my entire base with my paper clay. I noticed that I tend to work on the face first. I probably should work on just covering the entire base and then building the face so that I don't potentially ruin it as I cover the backside of the ball. But I mean, hindsight 2020 at this point. I start off with the face first. I think I just kind of want to see, I kind of want that instant gratification of seeing what the face is going to look like. When sculpting, I tend to use my fingers, but I also have this little sculpting tool. I don't remember where I got this, if I'm honest. I think I had it from back when I went to university. But anything smooth that is going to help you cover this is helpful. Honestly, probably a spoon would help, or the edge of a spoon if you're looking for something like that. But my fingers work just as well. Once I finished with the cheeks and the lips, I can start covering my ball. I didn't cover the eyes this time, and I didn't cover the very top section of the structure because I still need to cut a little section out. I'm gonna set it aside to dry in the sun about a day or two because the cheeks and the lips are built up, so they need more time to dry. But once it's dry, I'm going to cut out the top section, as we see here. And if you recall, the base is a ball, so you kind of want to make sure that you can set this down without it falling. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build a lip at the base. And the way I do this is just the same way as I did the cheeks and the lips, is just put more of my paper clay right here at the bottom, spreading that smooth into the base of my chick, and just building it up until it can sit on its own. And once it's done, I can leave that out to dry once more. Now we're moving to the bunny. For the bunny, I start off by making the handle. You get better footage of this in the cat video, the cat pail video. I was filming this on my own, so I apologize that I didn't get great footage. But I basically pierce 2 holes in my structure and push the wire through. Then you want to fold the end of the wire so that it's not sticking straight out. I also put tape and hot glue around it just to make sure that it doesn't poke any additional holes. The next thing I did was start building on top of the wire. I made this wire extra long because I want the ears to go around the handle. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm making a hopefully stable base at the bottom with paper and masking tape. And then I just start building on top of this section with more and more paper. And you can use the glue gun because, like I said, I want to make sure that these ears don't fall off. Now that I have my base, I'm going to build on top of it. So grabbing more paper, I'm just going to scrunch it up into the shape that I'm looking for. Then I tape around it until I have the shape that I like. However, I do want to note that one of these ears was a lot better than the other one. And I think it's because, no, I don't think, I know it's because I made it tight. The ear was a lot tighter, the paper was tighter, but one ear was a little bit better than the other one, but it's okay. I also want to mention that I used the glue gun at the base of my ear because you can see it's flopping around. I didn't put enough tape and I was worried that the tape alone wouldn't be enough. So I put some glue and covered the excess glue that was spilling over with additional paper, and I also glued it from the inside. Once I'm done with both ears, I can start covering this up with my paper mache mixture. I used the paper that I've been using. I only did one coat. I did use some of the thicker paper, but it was coming off, like it wasn't as smooth. I guess, again, hindsight, it doesn't matter because my paper clay isn't smooth. So, I don't know. I also decided to cover the opening just once more with paper so that it'll be a little bit smoother. And once that's all dry, I can start building my little face. I had these 2 drying outside in the sun for a few days, enough for the built up areas to dry fully. Now it's time to paint. I had this yellow paint around the house, so I'm going to use this for my little chick. I had also thought about using a brown undertone, so painting it brown and then doing like a dry brush of the yellow on top of it. I didn't like how it looked. I like really vibrant colors, so I just went back and started painting this all yellow. I did have to change my brush though because this thing kept losing all of its hair and I wasn't going to deal with that. And once I'm done painting, I can show you the final look. And here are my super cute Easter buckets. I think they are so adorable. The only thing that's missing from my bunny is a little pom-pom in the rear. Please let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. If you make these buckets, please share them with me on Instagram. I always love seeing your makes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.